Hello and welcome to the Knock On KCLR and Scoreline.ie's weekly rugby podcast. Joined as always by James Blanchfield from Kilkenny, Tom Crotty from Carlow, and Johnny Tobin from Tullow and further afield. Lads, how's it going?
All good.
All good, Stephen, yourself?
He flying his helicopter there across the plains of Carlow.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, look at that. It's a
All
bit
that
turbulent
money
out there, so it is. The weather's causing the turbulence, Tom, isn't it?
Well, that's it.
It's how he's all, lads, anyway.
All good.
All good.
All good, Stephen. Thanks.
Happy. I suppose we'll start with
the
big
privilege of being joined by Johnny Tobin this week as well.
Rare appearance, special guest on the night.
Listen, lads, if you had half my jobs, you'd be under pressure, you know. I'm a busy man.
Work was on the bed, you'd sleep in the garden.
I still get paid for it.
And you managed to get a big birthday in and all. Happy birthday, Johnny.
Happy birthday, Johnny.
Thanks. I get on.
That's your birthday I'm talking about, Johnny, now.
No, great to see Johnny. Of course, the irony being that he's usually busy with rugby. So yeah.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
I must go for a career change.
Lads, we're going to start with a big one this weekend, I suppose, in the Southeast League. There's a lot of games obviously kicking off around the place as well, but we've got a bit of a derby this weekend. Oak Park hosts the J1s and J2s. Them games are tomorrow, Saturday. This is being recorded on a Friday. Who do we start with, James or the hosts, Tom Crotty?
I don't mind.
Go ahead there, Tom. Get his spiel out of the way quick.
There's a standoff here now.
What? James,
for us, it's the beginning of it, really. You know, it'll probably be the first real test that our firsts are going to have this year. They travelled down to New Ross. A few of them travelled down to New Ross last week to take on with our seconds to play New Ross in the Southeast League, and we probably put a few first players into the seconds team last week for two reasons. There's a few guys that needed game time, but also we were mindful that we were going down to play a first team against Ross, and a team that had been going well. So they kind of brought in Wes, Doc, Joe, Hugh Corkery to play last week. And the truth be told, New Ross weren't really up to much, is what feedback I've gotten. We were expecting a little bit more out of them. So I suppose the point that was made at training last night is that this is the beginning of it now. You know, this is the first real test that the first will have coming into the Ashbourne game the following week. And Carlow will be looking to have a crack after the cup last year as well, regardless of it being Southeast League or not. So we're expecting a good rattle. There's 40 odd players to pick from between the two teams, 40 players available between the two squads, between the two teams to travel up. There's a couple of injuries, nothing major, like Drew Phelan is out with a bit of he's sick, and Dane O'Leary is still out with an ankle injury. So we're still going to be travelling up with a fairly strong squad. I saw the Carlow team today announced as well, so it looks like a strong enough Carlow team as well. So I'm probably expecting a typical Kilkenny Carlow battle up in Oak Park tomorrow, you know.
Absolutely. How is it looking from your side, Tom?
Well, we had played last week on the seconds. They went down to Wexford. Again, we had one or two of the first, but we hadn't really a whole lot of pick to go down. Coming into Sunday or into Saturday, we're looking forward to it. We're in a much better position than last year. This time last year, we had to forfeit the first game to Ashbourne because we hadn't got the players. This year, we're in a good position because we have, but there's a panel there still of around 40 to pick. We're missing a few. As I said last week, our two wingers are injured. We've one or two lads still playing football, which we kind of doing the final stages of that. So we really, we don't cross across to let them play on. Backline pack is fairly all right. The backline wouldn't be quite as strong as it was because we're missing Dan Crotty, we're missing Dave McDermott, Jeff McDermott, the two wingers that got injured. Cameron Brennan is on the bench because he's a football match. He's coming straight from a football match across. So it wouldn't be the strongest backline, but we have Packle good. Look, lads want to give it a good rattle, as I say, like it's the first game of the season. We need this game. Everyone needs the games. Yeah, and nice to have a crack at Kilkenny too. Look, we know Kilkenny are a strong side. We've got utmost respect for them, but what we're going to do now at the moment is just trying to develop and see where we're at. Because like the good numbers training kind of fizzled out a little bit because we probably weren't as clinical at training the last, kind of with things coming into a lefty picnic. But we had a very good training session there on Tuesday night after, and the lads decided, look, we got to focus in now, and this is the season. We've had our fun, and you kind of get into that stage. I think you go through pre-season training and you go through the initial start, especially when you've good numbers. Like last year we didn't have good numbers, so at this stage we were only still pulling things together, whereas this year you start off well, and then there's kind of you get a lull in training. No matter what, you get a lull in training kind of after the summer, and but we know what's coming. We know what's coming down the line tomorrow. So look, we're looking forward to it. As I was saying to you earlier, we're just finished marking. The pitches are looking lovely, so the ground is, you couldn't ask for nicer. The pitch is in great nick. As long as the rain holds off tomorrow, we'll have hopefully good rugby and plenty of beer afterwards and a bit of cracking. Let's get the season start. Look, this is it. Season's here, and it's good to be back. And as I say, look, we're happy as in. Because I don't want to sound like James last year with injuries. We're happy in a good position with the players that are there. Look, a lot of lads that we've a couple of new players have come back from out of the blue. We've one young fella hadn't played since he was under 14s. Cormac Kelly had a great game last week he played on the wing and had a great game for the second. So like if people like that coming back out of the blue, and that's a sign that your club is there. Look, if nothing else, you have to have members there to enjoy the crack, and once they're happy and they're enjoying playing, enjoying the training, I think it's the main thing. And as I said, I think James and stuff know that like it's down to the lads on Saturday. They're going to give it hammer and tongs at each other, and hopefully it'll be a good game. But at the end of the day, it's a good experience for both sides. We need it. The league is coming up, and there's especially, and I know Division 1A is a tough league all the time, but this year I think 2A is going to be tougher than it ever was. With the tie coming in and Dundalk coming down, Wicklow, Tullow are flying. Like saying, Johnny, saw you train. Everyone was over with the girls, and they have great numbers and seem to be training very well. So it's going to be a tough year. So
it's going to be a tough year.
Start Saturday.
I was just chatting with a few of the boys there the other night, and probably they said the most enjoyable but toughest game they played at last year, the two of them stood out, was Carlow in the quarterfinal of the Cup and Dundalk in the semi-final. And that's why we're kind of bigging up this weekend as well. I don't know what kind of team is going out. Doc hasn't named the team yet. I haven't seen anything coming in on the group, but it will be a strong team, barring a couple of players who I've mentioned there, and Drew Field and Dame O'Leary. And it's good to have that full hand to pick from, and there's another one or two players still to add into the mix as well when they get in. So, Owen Evans there is there to get added in, and Jake Bradley, who's could come back from Finland as well. Joe Moynihan still isn't back. He's back in 2 weeks' time. So slowly but surely our squad is coming back together. So look, this is the beginning of it now. Definitely. Carlow on Saturday. It doesn't get any better than that,
No.
What do you reckon, Johnny? Neutral observer there.
Is the Messiah coming out to play? Is there a rumour that the James Blanchfield is returning to play? Are you going to play this Saturday?
No.
No,
not this Saturday anyway. My old buddy up there, what was his name? Tom, the fullback.
Tom Bulger.
Tom Bulger might hear I'm playing, and he might come. He might arrive if he hears I'm there. So
no, he'll be there anyway.
I'm not going to play that one. I want to come back in one piece, like. But no, look, I've kind of made a decision to go back and try and train at least and see how it goes. It's been 3 years since I played 40 next year, and just like what Tom was saying, when you're looking at the buzz that's happening, there's good things happening, you can see it. The atmosphere does cascade throughout the club, and a bit of FOMO going on, like you want to be part of it as well. And probably none of my generation of players are really playing anymore. The Alan O'Donovans and Nigel Daly's, the Ray Pembrokes, they've all retired and given up. And I just kind of decided there about 2 weeks ago I could be sitting at home scratching myself on a Tuesday and Thursday night. I could be out there trying to get fit and having fun. And there was good stuff going on out there. So I put gear on there last week and I enjoyed it. And I trained again last night. So
there's life in the dog,
yeah. I'll tog out, but primarily it's kind of been there to help with train and add numbers to train and get fit myself, hold a tackle bag if it's needed. And kind of if you're needed, then come a trip away to Byrne when people aren't 2 and 2s to get into a car and travel. That's where it'll probably become most important, you know. So
best of both worlds.
It's the best of both worlds. I'm staying fit. I'm staying in with the lads and seeing what's going on. I can help them if they're needed. But I think more and more people every week are coming out, and lads who kind of, myself and Brendan McIntyre, we've been playing together second row for the seconds, I'd say, for the guts of 20 years, like, you know, and he's back out now as well. So it's just good things happen. And I think when the atmosphere is right, people tend to come back out and get involved and stay involved. So the atmosphere is right, and there's players coming back. You can see it every week. There's a new guy at training every day. So I think the atmosphere, the culture, everything is in a good place. And if we just build on that now for the season ahead.
That has taken a few years to build, though, to be fair to Doc and the lads.
Yeah, it has.
They've changed the whole culture there now, and it's evident now. Like, and then obviously the Towns Cup win last year, will help.
But the thing is, like, the Towns Cup win for us could have masked over a lot of cracks. You know, there was no doubt that we had issues in certain places and certain positions and certain ways of doing things as a club. We could have rested on our laurels there, like any club could have done, and masked over the cracks. This was great lads. We're after winning the Towns Cup. The next thing, find ourselves in the same position in the league again this coming season. That's not to say we won't find ourselves down the bottom of the league or up the top of the league. We can't predict the future, but we are far better equipped because we brought our issues out into the open. We're far better equipped now to deal with the issues that we had last year. We have squad depth now. We have 8 or 9 new players into the first team squad, you know, so all those bits and pieces are coming together. But what you're saying is Doc has worked hard. Not only has Doc worked hard at it, we have a president there, Dave Matthews. The man doesn't stop. Secretary Vinny O'Shea, he doesn't stop. They're always constantly working on trying to improve things, talking to people. Dave Matthews, I just don't know where the man gets his energy from, but he does it for the love of the club, and that might sound a bit cheesy, but he does, you know, and all those people pulling in the same direction. Yeah, the method might be different, but the direction is the same. There's a brilliant buzz and atmosphere out there at the moment, and there's more work happening in the club. We kicked off there a lot of work on Monday or Tuesday, so the facilities.
The bank is gone, is it?
The bank is gone. The bank had to be removed to facilitate the new fencing around the pitch, and there's new floodlight going in, and new fencing, and the back car park has been done. So there's a lot of work going on, and the culture, the atmosphere, and the people are right, and everyone's going the right direction. So, you know, I'm gone off on a bit of a tangent there now, but you know, it's a good place to be around. And they're some of the reasons that I ain't gone back out to play. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's a huge thing. I mean, we were in Division 2A a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and the club was. It may look that the grounds are grand and that, but we were suffering as the youths were grand, kind of taking along, minis taking along, but our seniors were, you know, we had 1 or 2 decent years. We just we qualified out of 2A back up into 1B, and then we were poor. So, you know, after having good seasons, we have poor seasons. So it doesn't come overnight, and I see it like Tullow did an awful lot of work. Like Kilkenny have done an awful lot of work over the last couple of years, you know, and we were tailing behind, and we're still catching up. You know, we're still we have to put the effort in and look at how our squads are working. Look at how rugby's been run in the club. It's not like without rugby we've nothing. You know, without the teams we've nothing. So like, it's not a 1 year plan or a 2 year plan. It's a 5 or 10 year plan to keep going, because a lot of clubs are struggling, and I see it at Leinster youth meetings. The amount of teams that are folding their youths or don't have youth teams here and there, or don't have senior teams, can't field. Like, it's in a serious bad condition. A lot of clubs are in bad condition, and I think in the southeast we're quite strong, which is good.
Absolutely, I think we are. You look around, look at the strength of the Southeast clubs. From Wexford, brilliant youth set up. They're producing players every year. Gorey, Tullow, and Escartiers. Every Southeast it's a good area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a very strong area, to be fair.
Speaking of the Southeast, Wexford Wanders and Tullow tonight, Friday. Johnny, your fellas are getting a hay out.
Yeah, it's well overdue. We haven't played since we played London Irish, so it's well overdue. But look, sure, like Tom said, he was out training the girls there tonight. Numbers are good at training. The energy and the attitude and the belief has came back, which is really positive. It's really good to see. Like, there's no point beating around the bush about it. We had a crap season at start of the season last year. We were crap at Christmas. We kind of come right around January, February. Typical old-fashioned Tullow coming right to the cup and then go on and win the play. But like this year, the whole drive has been to win the league. Promotion is number one goal. Recruitment has been heavy over the summer, getting lads back, getting some guys in. A lot of our under-16s who won the All-Ireland a few years back are actually back training, which is really, really good. The Jamie Coopers, them kind of guys, Jack Hanlon, stuff like that. So
if I can ask you, Johnny, right, they were guys that are involved in kind of an All-Ireland winning team. Like, why, if they had that level of success, why did they step away?
They didn't. 18s and 20s in the club have failed for the last 3 or 4 years. We haven't had coaching, we haven't had structure. We probably failed them as a club, to be honest with you. In my opinion, to be straight and honest with you, we didn't have that structure in place to continue it straight through. And that's my opinion. So I feel like we failed them a little bit, but we're doing a lot of work now over the last summer and last year, maybe, to get back in contact with these fellas. We're going to run a 20s program this year again for the first time since 2013. We won the Gael Cup in 11 and 12, and we lost the semi-final in 13. We haven't had one since. So,
because that point that you touch on, that's the exact situation that we find ourselves in, and maybe you do as well, Tom, is that segue from youths into senior rugby. The breakdown is at 20s. And if they don't have 20s rugby, they just pack it in.
It's college. It's college. Like, the attractive package was always Dublin, but now that we have the university in Carlow, I really believe that it'll turn. I really believe lads will stay here now and go to university here rather than accommodation is going to be a big factor there as well. So I'm really positive, and I'm really hoping that.
Yeah, sorry to step in there and just ask that question, but I just kind of think it's important for people to realise that it is difficult to get players through, and probably as clubs we probably need to do more. Maybe as 3 clubs together, we might need to do more to create a 20s between the 3 clubs. Could be a solution. Keep them playing. We did it with Carlow a few years ago. I think with the 18s about 10 years ago.
We done it as well.
Solution to the 20s is just to.
It's his life, Tom.
That's our first live interruption, folks.
We've just been photobombed live.
But sorry to step in there, Johnny, when you're on a roll.
No, you're 100%. You're 100% right. But like, for us at the moment, we actually are strong enough right now to field an 18s and a 20s, like with Tullow people, with Tullow lads, which is really, really positive, to be honest with you, and it's really exciting to look forward to. But since Sean has came back in, I know we were touching on it last week a bit. Sean has come back in. It's not what Sean brings on the field; it's what he brings off the field. It's the phone calls to the young lads. It's the meeting them for a coffee, having a chat with them, getting them in, and then it's also the excitement of, I could actually play with Sean O'Brien here this year. I could actually say I played with him. I talked out in the Tullow jersey with him. And, like, let's be honest, lads, any one of us here, we'd love to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to do it. I'd hate to be on the other, simply because I'd hate to be on the other side.
I'd hate to be Dan Crotty in a couple of months' time.
Dan Crotty will stop him, all right. I saw Dan Crotty in action in Folkestown not so long ago. Bigger the yard, easier he stops.
He's run that now. But like, it's good. It's fun. The environment has changed again. Danny Callahan back in as S&C. She's also doing S&C now. There's also going to be a program starting with our women's team. So everybody in the club now is buying into the one culture, which is massive. everyone is the one goal. We're trying to get back down to our youths. Myself and Morris and Sean have been going, coaching the coaches and coaching the teams with the youth coaches for the last 3 or 4 weeks, spend a bit of time down there, and we're getting really good feedback, and it's been really positive. So, look, from us, we're not sitting here like we were last year. We're in a really, really good place. So if we don't do anything well this year, we don't do anything right, it's our own mess up. You know, because
I think looking back on last year, we need to. I think the 3 clubs, we all struggled last year in many respects, but I suppose we need to all give ourselves kudos. Is that we remained in our leagues. We won the cup. Carlow the cup run. Ye run the plate. It's easy to look at the problems and how poor it was. There were still successful seasons coming off the back of what was an absolute balls up of a previous 18 months through COVID.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of
I'm not saying we didn't finish well like we did. We finished very, very well. And Morris, to be fair to him, done very, very well to even stick out that season. There were some nights there, lads, where we had 10 and 11 lads training. You know, we just hadn't got, and there's no point saying we did. Like, we went down to Kilkenny one night, I think, with 14 fellas for a training session. Do you know? Yeah. There's no point beating around the bush. We hadn't got there, and that's just the way it was. And lads, I think, were a little bit tired, and then the COVID gave them a good break, and they were like, "Oh, do I really want to go back here and do this stuff? Get rounded on a Tuesday and Friday?" And, you know, like. But I think now at the moment, there's a good culture. The first team setup is really, really good with Morris and Sean, Ivan Cooper, and Sprocket. Some really, really smooth operators there. Stuff gets done. No beating around the bush. Robin Johnson and his chairman. There's no messing with Robin Johnson. Everything is bang, 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 organised, sorted, problem solved. Like, so, the club as a whole is in a good place. Numbers really, really good. Our 18 girls I think they have 24 or 5 girls at the moment, which is phenomenal to see. Our 16s obviously and 14s are joining with Carlow, which works for both clubs, so it's brilliant to keep that going. And then, like, all our youth teams are flourishing away there, so it's good. Like, returning minis rugby last Sunday there, they returned, so great to see them out as well. I think there's nearly 200 of them out there alone. Like, so Tullow's in a good place, but I kind of gone like James now, gone on a ramble away from the match. Play Wexford Wanders tonight. I think we were going down with about 20, 22 guys, all first team kind of players. There's no one really that would be questionable, so that's good for us. But Wexford are coming off 2 really good wins. They bet Carlow seconds and Kilkenny seconds, so they'll be confident too.
Yeah, but I'd be expecting a Tullow first team, an out first team, and put Wexford to the sword.
Yeah, well, look, it is a strong Tullow team. I wouldn't say it's our best outfit, but it is a strong Tullow team. It's all lads capable of playing J1 rugby. But look, you're going down to Wexford on a Friday night to a team that's very, very confident. They're going to be very, very physical. They have 2 games ahead of us. So all that could play a factor in the first 40. Now, I don't know. On your best day, would you say Tullow would beat Wexford? Yeah, absolutely. But today, I couldn't confidently sit here and say we're going to win that one. Like, you know?
I think Johnny, sorry, just with Wexford, I think if you like we got out, we should have won that game.
Yeah.
We had a heap of young fellas. We had actually some of the actual 18s. We had no back. I said we had the full all the substitutes were forwards. I just
Sorry about life last year.
All you have to do is watch. Keep their 9 out of the game. The 9 scored 2 tries, 2 silly tries. But you know, when you have young lads and things like that, he cut back inside on a nice line and scored.
Graham's very good player.
Graham scored. He scored. Yeah, he is, and he scored the same try twice. And then he went off, and we came back in again. You know, he went off injured, and then he came back on, and so I'd be very confident for you.
I was very impressed by Wexford number 7.
He's a young chap. He's a young chap. Oh, what's his name? Oh,
the guy
he's
went
actually
to Canada.
He's actually starting against tonight. What?
He played in Canada. He's from Canada.
Is he? I don't know.
The number 8. The number 8 played before. He played with Wexford before, but the 7 is he's mad as a March here. He's just work constant. I think
that's the guy. Yeah,
he does a bit of American football tackling. Like, he kind of dives from way out, hitting people and
40 meters away and flies.
I think he thinks he's playing a bit of American football.
But no, look, it'll be a good game. Obviously, the fun side of the element is Morris has been coaching, doing a bit with them for the last couple of weeks as well. Like, so we could have a few secrets, you know. We could figure some few stuff out, like. But look at it. It's going to be a hit out. It's going to be a team builder. We're going to play them tonight. We're going to go down there again on Tuesday, I think, for a training session with them. So it'll be good. Everyone, it'll benefit both sides, like, you know.
I think it's a measure of the person that Morris is, like, that he's helping them out as well. Like, I mean, I know they're his kind of adopted home club and whatnot, but be very easy
home club. He's
to
lived in
turn
Wexford
their
for a long
back
time,
and they're coaching someone else.
No, he wouldn't. Sure, like his young fella Sean still plays for their 17s there and their 18s, you know. So, and his two eldest lads actually, Ben and Morris, play for Tullow, which is really, really funny. So he's split between both, but no, Morris is incredible. Like it's incredible, you know. He trains us Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He's with them Tuesday and Thursday. So you got to give hats off to that, like. But look, like I said, we're in a good place. I can't honestly say we're going to win that game so handy, but you'd imagine we come away with a good result, like, to be fair. Yeah, so that's where we're at.
Good luck to all the teams this weekend. Of course, if you're listening to the podcast, the Tullow match is Friday, the 9th of September, and Kilkenny Carlow is the 10th of September in Oak Park. Wexford Wanders Tullow is down in Wexford. Move on from the local stuff now, and just a couple of other stuff hitting the news this week before we have a chat about the All Blacks in Argentina and that sort of stuff. How do you fancy heading over to New York or somewhere to watch the Munster Leinster derby? It's been discussed in the news this week. Bit of a crazy.
I'll watch it at home, Stephen.
Same.
Yeah.
Tom will go though.
Jesus, I must be a joke. I wish. I absolutely wish.
Company trip, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, we're an R&D trip to see how they make bread in New York.
Yeah.
We're over to see the cuisine up for there.
I think it's ludicrous. I think it's, as they all said, once the URC became under the control of the company, I can't remember their name. I think this is what it was all about: spreading the game, bringing it wider. I think it's at the beginning of a US franchise coming into the URC, spreading the game over there. Potentially, I think you'll see it happening in the next few years, but. I don't think the Leinster-Munster game would have the same, how would I say, it would have the same bite to it. It's still a derby, but if it wasn't in the RDS or Lansdowne Road or Thomond Park, I don't think it would have the same bit of a...
Well, in my opinion, there's only two places Leinster and Munster should ever play. The RDS and Thomond Park. Shouldn't be anywhere else. Shouldn't be in the Viva.
Johnny, I 110% agree.
Because you don't get better than the atmosphere in Thomond Park or the RDS for that game.
No, it's been a long time since we're in the RDS, and cheers, that it was powerful. So it was. The Aviva took that out of it. I've
been at times when the All Blacks beat Ireland. I've been at them games. I've been at big Six Nations games. The best game I was ever at was Munster Leinster Magners League Final 2011, the week after the Hinding Cup. The crack in Thomond Park was unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's a great day. We're not a great day for Leinster.
But it was a great day out.
Still hungover from Wales the week before.
It was great crack. But like playing Munster Leinster, that, like, no disrespect to these teams, but Zebra and someone should go over and play over there.
But there's that. I think there's more to it than that. I think because if you look at, like, Leinster doing their schools of excellence in America now.
Yeah,
I think there's a serious push on for the Yanks to come to produce rugby players. I mean, they're putting in mass. Like, all you have to do is go onto YouTube and watch some of the programs that are happening and the systems that they are. And I know they're doing this. I know they're doing this rugby shop, the combined, what you call it, when they come in and you buy players or you get players on their ability to sprint and jump and. All this stuff, you know, doing the American football way. You know,
the American way of doing things, the way they do it, it's so structured.
I think. Well, we think it's daft because we don't do it here, but it's the way the Americans do it. So if it's for them to buy in and see it's similar to American football, I suppose they have a point. And I think they're a massive country and they have serious athletes. So all it does take
and they also bring a lot of that.
Well, you just go up to me. Being honest, I go to when we went to the Viva for the American football, just see the money and the crack and the support that they bring.
And all the
If
free
they-
All over
pints.
Dublin, they're all everywhere.
Free pints, very important. Free pints. But the way, I mean, if the Yanks come
That's
into it, you're
happening in
talking
Carlow tomorrow, isn't it?
serious money. What, free beer?
No, the card machine's going to go down, so there'll be free pint.
Well, I tell you one thing: there's never a
cash.
day that cash won't be taken in Carlow Rugby.
That's
That's what I can tell you now.
Bleep that out there for revenue, Stephen, will you?
I will, yeah.
All above board.
They were throwing that out, and they were talking about what is it? Qatar getting involved with the URC as well, was it?
Oh,
Or
Jesus.
something. Like all these other crazy stories popping out this week, just mad stuff. Yeah. Qatar want everything.
But then the other side of it is here, guys. I sent a message to you last week about the state of the clubs in the Premiership.
Yeah.
They need to get money into the game because I don't think it will ever happen in the Irish provinces because it's so well regulated and managed by the IRFU. But when you see what's happening in the UK game, it's scary. Like all of these clubs, despite their success and the turnover and great players they have, the level of debt
Financially and butter.
It's ridiculous. Like, so I can see that there's method in the madness to try and, as you said, Johnny, with the Americans, get the money into the game. But it needs to be a balance as well. And Willie Duggan
Where
always
does it
said
end?
professionalism is the worst thing that ever happened to rugby. And in a way, he's right. And professionalism is affecting grassroots rugby in a way that all of the best players have been taken away. And then in the way soccer is, they're being sent back once it's realised that they're not good enough and so forth. But money in the professional game is key to keeping it going. And I can see the method in the madness from that perspective.
Yeah.
But they can't take the game away. And this is going to sound again cheesy. They can't take the game away from the fans either. I mean, the die-hard Munster Leinster fans are based along the M7 or south or north of the M7 and M9. They're not based along Route 66 or in the States. They're not based in they're not based in Qatar. So I think there needs to be a different way of doing it, and be that bringing in an American franchise or a franchise based in Qatar or something like that into the URC. But for me, taking games away, I think it's
I think it's more damaging than good anyway, to be honest with you.
Well, it'll be an interesting experience. This if it does happen,
We'll be there. The knock on are sending us over to do commentary.
Yeah.
We'll be like Roy Keane and the boys there on the sideline last weekend.
Will they send us down to do running commentary on South Africa and Munster down in
Cork? Well, we have a subscription for a line there, so we have our
we can push that out,
right?
Tom. I'm there if you're there, Tom. I'm sure Blanchfield will travel.
Well, myself and Tom are two Munster supporters, and you're two Leinster supporters, so
excuse me. I was rare to a mother who would die for Munster.
Well,
and her last wishes were to, when she died, when she passed, she used to be cremated and spread around Thomond Park. And she's born in Wicklow and lived in Tullow. Holy mother of Christ, what's she doing at all? But anyway.
Just a bit of good news. Did you hear Ireland beat England in the sevens today as well?
Yeah,
that's great.
The World Cup sevens. Yeah.
That's not good news, Tom. That's great news.
Great news. Poor old England are having a bad time, but aren't they?
Bad few days.
Yeah.
Actually, good news as well. Just want to congratulate Steve Ashmore and Jane O'Neill. They had a baby girl last weekend. So, I know, Johnny, you were friends with Steve. You worked with him in school, and Tom, he was involved with G and Carlow. He's one of the good guys. And
he's a gent. Absolute gent.
He's a top bloke.
It's great for him. He managed to get 42 years out of it. So
yeah, he's a top bloke. He
did a lot of running, didn't he?
He did.
Yesterday in the school, we had a first of our meetings with the players and the coaches, and Colin Maloney, who's the head of rugby now, director of rugby in Kilkenny College, said that congratulate Steve and Wes Carter on their Towns Cup victory when Steve was instrumental in that. Then he also said congratulate Jane and Steve on the birth of the baby Ria. He was instrumental in that as well. So he's instrumental a lot there in the last few months.
So in the school, is Peter Swanepoel still there? Is he gone, Johnny?
No, Swanee's head coach. Colin Maloney's director of rugby. So we have a director of rugby now appointed this year. I think it's the first year officially. Kind of Jeff Carter kind of ran the program for the last, I'd say, 10, 15 years. I don't know however long he's there. But Colin is officially the head of rugby now. director of rugby, and then Swanee is the head coach for the senior cup, and Jeff is head coach for the junior cups.
Okay, very good. Very good. And how is the school shaping up this year, rugby-wise?
Very good.
Reasonably strong senior squad, is it?
Yeah. Like last year, we won the TY fifth year league, the team I was coaching, we won that TY fifth year league. We had 50 guys playing an internal match yesterday, and we had 28 guys in Kilkenny the night before playing the club, and we had 40 guys left at home that we couldn't use in the last 2 days. We have close on 120 to 30 senior players, which like we have 4 teams out next week, which is phenomenal. At senior level alone, 4 teams out next week. So really, really good, really, really positive. I really do believe this now. I think this year and next year, 2 very, very good years for Kilkenny College, and I do think we could go one step further in the league final like last year. I believe we could pip it this year if we get everything right. I believe so. We're in a really good place.
Yeah. No, that game the other night, even though I think the scoreline didn't suggest it, I think there was I think it was 40 points to 15 or 5, was it, in that game?
No, I think it 32-5 it finished.
Was that it?
That game. Yeah.
I think, like, speaking to Gary Dunn, our under-18s coach, they were quite happy. Like, there was a lot, like, that was their second run out. They were quite happy. They took a lot from it.
Yeah, and that's a young Kilkenny team too, because that Kilkenny 16s team would be fairly good, like, you know, they'd be fairly decent, like. So, to be fair, I would take a lot from it too if I was Kilkenny. To be fair.
Johnny, actually, can I ask you, who are the 2 lads looking over your shoulder there? Not now the 2 people in the photo, but
that's Tom Crotty and Tom Bulger.
2 donkeys.
I got that framed for them last year.
Johnny,
couldn't resist.
One of them looks like you.
That's my brother.
That lad is poking up over the back.
Just say, Tom Bulger, I'm sorry. Please don't come after me. We have to be careful this year about what we say.
He'd still blame me for it, Johnny, and come after me.
Absolutely.
I laugh at it anyway.
That's it. Lads, have a great weekend in terms of matches and all that sort of stuff. Great to chat to you, of course, again. Great that the season is up and running, more or less. We're back into the thick of it now. And good luck tonight, Johnny. And of course, Kilkenny and Carlow in action on Saturday. If you want to drop down to Oak Park and have a look there as well. I'm in Oak Park myself on Sunday for something else. But I might be chatting to Dana O'Brien and possibly Johnny Sexton. So if we do anything on that, you'll hear a bit of it over the weekend or next week on the knock-on. Lads, thanks a million for that.
Cheers.
Lovely hurling, lads.
Cheers.
See you tomorrow, Tom.
Good weekend. Yeah.
Enjoy it, lads. Enjoy it.
Good luck.